Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about 5 types of people that are draining your retirement after 60. And I bet you out of the 5 of them that I'm going to mention, there's probably only one that you're aware of, and the other 4 you didn't even really think about them. So let's get right into it. Hello, my name is Nina, and thank you for coming to Her Second Act, where we're making certain that this chapter in our life is the best chapter of our life. So, the first type of person that I want to talk about that's draining your retirement after 60, that you probably aren't even thinking about, is the stress generator. And that stress generator will make you seek out some type of a retail therapy. They give you a retail therapy trigger. You've hung around with that person for a couple of hours and they've brought so much drama into your life. They've drained you so much that you end up going out stress shopping, or maybe you do some online shopping just to kind of get that negativity out of your head and so you can feel a little bit better, or you're ordering some takeout because you don't feel like cooking, or you need some type of coping mechanism like, I don't know, sitting and watching 5 hours of Netflix on the sofa instead of, contributing and doing something maybe for your health or for your business, or like a little side hustle or something that's enjoyable for you. Or, you just have to maybe even seek counseling, and that costs money as well. So that's draining your retirement because it's making you spend money just to get over the stress of hanging around with that person. That's one of the type of individuals that is draining your retirement right now. So that is the stress generator. Now, the second one is the lifestyle competitor. And what do I mean about the lifestyle competitor? Well, it's somebody, it could be a friend or a family member that always wants to go to out to eat at some overpriced place, or they talk about what trips they've gone on and they want you to take a cruise with them, but you already went on a cruise with them maybe a year ago, or there's some type of a concert or something that they want for you to go to, and it doesn't fit into your current budget or it doesn't fit into your goals. Maybe that was something you were able to do with them while you were working, but now you're retired and you have to, watch what you're spending a little bit more. So, just saying yes out of guilt or out of habit, or because you don't want to lose that friendship and you feel like that's the only way that you can connect with them because that's what you've been doing for years and years and years. It can drain hundreds of dollars out of your bank account a month. And that money should be, going to give you peace of mind. It should be a peace of mind fund and not just fueling something that somebody else feels, an image of you that somebody else is portraying upon you, but it's not what you want to do or you're able to do at this time. Maybe instead of going out to dinner, you like having dinner at home. But, they want to go out to a new restaurant, and then by the time you get over there, you're spending gas to get over there, you're paying for parking maybe, you're going to have your a cocktail and some appetizers and food, and maybe you're splitting the bill and other people are ordering extra stuff. So that's the second one, is the lifestyle competitor. Now, the third person, and this is one that I think that you probably do have in the back of your mind, and that's what you were thinking about when I said, a type of person that's draining your retirement. And this is the perpetual emergency necessity person that's in your life that, there's always some type of an emergency with them. They need like a temporary loan. They need $10. They need $20 for this. They need some gas money. They need a financial favor. It was hot outside and their AC bill was higher than what they thought it would be. And can you loan them some money? Or it could be even somebody that's younger that, they don't have money for gas, or whatever the case may be. And, when you're in your 50s and 60s, You have a sense of always nurturing somebody, always being there to take care of somebody. You know, you're the one that people have always come to. You've had kids and you've raised them and you've done everything you possibly can do for them. And if they needed something, you go ahead and you've done it for them, because at the time maybe you were working or circumstances were a little bit different. But now, when we're in our 60s, we still have that mindset that we have to fix everything. We have to take care of everyone. And usually we're taking care of everyone but ourselves. So it's not saying that you can never help anyone, because, of course, that's just something that we do as loving adults, and especially with family. If somebody desperately needs something, but if it's, I want to go to the movies, or, I spent my gas money going to a baseball game or whatever the case it is, and, can I borrow $20? And I always have it set in my head that I never loan, in quotation marks, I never loan anyone money that I want to get back or I expect to get back. If I that way, there's no animosity. I'm not upset if I don't get it back, because it's just, I'm giving it to you. Even though, they might say, oh, I'm going to pay you back on payday, or I'm going to pay you back next week or next month or whatever. I'm don't have it in my head that I'm going to get paid back. But that's something when we get older and we're no longer working and we're in our retirement, we really have to watch our funds, and we have to learn how to say no. And that's a very difficult thing to say as a parent, or as someone that's always said yes before in the past. It's a hard thing to say, but we have to be selective. You don't always have to say no, but you don't always have to say yes either. So you have to, pick and choose your battles, and what you're going to be there for and what you can be there for. Moving on. Okay, so the fourth type of person that's draining your retirement is the time and energy vampire. And what do I mean by a time and energy vampire? It's a person that dumps all of their problems on you for hours, and they leave you feeling completely exhausted, where maybe you have to go back to the number 2, where you're going to go out and do some retail therapy, some retail shopping, just to kind of get away from that. But what that can do too, it's, if you ever have your phone ring and you look and it's like, oh my goodness, and you want to be a good friend, and you want to be there for your family, and it's something, again, going back to our third one, you always want to be there for somebody, and it's important to do that, but we have to set some type of limitations, where if a person's calling you every day to go over the same thing that they talked about yesterday, and you gave your advice yesterday, and your advice hasn't changed from yesterday, and the situation didn't change from yesterday, but they want to call and rehash the whole conversation, where you're thinking, I could have just recorded that conversation yesterday and just put it on play when they call again, because it's going to be the same reiteration of the same thing. But that's taking time away from maybe doing something that is therapeutic for yourself, or financially advantageous for yourself, if you got like a little side business or something like that. And people think because you're retired or you work for yourself, I'm not retired yet, I work for myself, but people think because you're home, or you have your own office or whatever, that you're available during the day when you're actually in work mode, or you're in study mode, or you're in whatever mode it is that you're in. And then when you get diverted by having that same conversation with that same person about the same topic and giving the same advice, then it's hard to shift back into whatever it was that you were doing, and you just feel drained from the conversation. You're like, oh, I'll take care of that tomorrow. And then tomorrow, maybe you have the same situation. So not saying that, you have to cut all your friends off or all communication, because we can't do that. We have to be caring. And, there's times where maybe we have something that we want to discuss and we want for somebody to be there for us. But you have to be mindful if it's the same person talking about the same thing, and you're losing time and you're losing energy, and it's taking you away from building your side business or caring for your health or resting or doing whatever it is that we deserve to be able to do in our 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. And that's something too that a lot of times when we get older, we feel like not that we don't deserve it, but that somebody deserves it more than we do. Somebody deserves our time and our energy more than we do. And, time is fleeting, time is limited, and we have to enjoy this portion of our life at this time. So, try to just be aware when that same person calls over and over again, and maybe just send them a quick text and say, hey, look, I'm busy doing whatever it is right now. I can't talk. I'll can I call you back a little later? Unless it's something that's an emergency, ask them, are you okay? Is there any emergency? Because I'm rather busy right now. I can't talk right now. Can I call you back when I'm free? And that way, if it is something that's a different topic or it is something that's an emergency, at least I could text you back, hey, this happened or whatever. Oh, sorry, my cat jumped up here, there went her tail. So at least, then you'll be able, you're not cutting them off altogether. You're just letting them know that you're busy for the time being and can you get back to them later. And the fifth and final person that I'm going to talk about is the dream sinker. And what do I mean by the dream sinker? That's someone where maybe you want to start your own business, or that's something that you're working on and they're not being supportive at all, and they're making maybe snide comments about, oh, why are you starting a business now? You're in your 50s or you're in your 60s or you're almost, why are you doing whatever? Because I want to do it. Now is the time for me to do that. And, you can't, of course, you don't want to say that. Maybe that's what you're thinking, but don't let those individuals, drain your energy or make you stop doing what it is that you have your heart set on doing. Because in our earlier years, we were always working to do things for other people and to make certain that everybody else is taken care of. And now you're not being selfish by wanting to do something that you want to do at this time. Maybe you want to go and try, I don't know, pottery, or you want to write a book, or you want to join a chess club, or you want to go play pickleball, or whatever you want to do. Somebody that's on the outside shouldn't, make a comment that sinks the dream of what you want to do. They should focus on what they're doing and their life. As long as you're not doing anything harmful, then if you're going to maybe start like an online store, or you want to, I opened up my practice closed down and I opened up an insurance agency, and that's what I wanted to do. And, it was late in life, and, but it's something that I wanted to do. I have never regretted it at all. And, thankfully I had, a few supportive people that were around me that encouraged me. Even I did have a couple of naysayers, oh, you should just go get a job someplace else or something like that. But that's not what I wanted to do. And I had it set in my mind that, this is the path that I want to take. I'm starting a YouTube channel, why I'm have my own business, because it's something that I wanted to do for people that are our age, to offer encouragement. And, I get to hopefully help people out. That's what I want to do. Insurance, that's what I want to do here. Help people out. That's what my dream is to do that. So whatever your dream is, don't let the naysayers burst your bubble or sink your balloon, or I don't know what, what another analogy you want to bring with it. But don't let them drain your confidence before you even start. So maybe that's what we can say. And in closing, I hope that this just kind of, put like a little thought in your head when one of these people come into your life, that this video will kind of resonate with you a little bit, and you say, oh, this is this situation. Maybe you'll go ahead and do whatever, we've been doing forever, but after a while you'll kind of see a pattern, and you'll say, well, let me try to say no this time, or let me not answer the phone right now, let me send a text instead, or let me tell the person that's asking me for $20, hey, right now, things are a little tight, I can't help you out, unfortunately this time. It's not an emergency, you don't need to go to the movies, or you need to go buy a ticket to go wherever, or you need gas because you want to go visit your friend, or what, I don't know. I'm just bringing up scenarios that aren't urgent. But you kind of know what I mean. Or they say, well, why are you trying to start a business now? Because it's something I want to do. I've done for so many years for other people, and this is what I want to do for myself. Is there a problem? Do you have a problem with that? Or, not trying to antagonize anybody. So maybe don't say that, but it's your decision. It's your life. At this stage of our lives, you should be able to choose how you want to live it. While we're able to get up and move and do things like that. Enjoy this chapter of your life. You have the pen. Write out the way that this chapter is going to be, the way that you want for it to be. So my little Hertuism, I call it a Hertuism, at the end is, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you certainly can't retire on an empty account, either a mental account or a physical account that can make you ill, or a bank account that can make you broke and unable to help yourself, much less anyone else. And, our peace is priceless, and other people's drama is expensive. So choose your peace every single time. And I hope that you found this video informative. I did have another video that I did, and I'm going to link it up here, over there. And it was 5 things that I stopped buying. Kind of ties into one of the type of people that I was talking about. So I'll link that up here if you want to check that out afterwards. And I hope you have a wonderful day or evening, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.